Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sandstorm Productions. I'm back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Club exclusive figure subscription service, Wave 7. This is figure 3, and it's Dusty and Sandstorm. Very cool looking package here. So this is based off of the vintage release of Dusty. I guess technically it would be version 3, I think. You had the original release, then the Tiger Force version, and then we get this cool Commando Dusty, basically. It was always one of my favorite figures in the past, and I'm glad to see a new release of it here for the modern line. It looks really cool on the card. We get the nice artwork on the side that's very reminiscent of that original vintage release here. Looks really nice all in all. Flip it over here to the back here. We get the enlarged photo of Dusty there along with his file card. And zoom in here and you can pause to read the description there if you would like. Again, this is figure 3 from Wave 7. Let's go ahead and get this thing opened up so we can take a look at the figure. Excuse me. So in the past, some of my videos have kind of rambled on a little bit. They get a little long sometimes, so I'm going to try a little bit to make these go a little faster and try to keep them around the 5-minute mark. I'm not going to guarantee you that we're going to make that today, but we're going to try anyway. So here you go, you get to see the full painting here. Very nice looking. Anyways, we'll throw that to the side for the time being. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit right char. Alright, so we get Dusty here. Pull him out first. Very nice looking. The two weapons here have some tape holding them on. Let's go ahead and slice that tape open. We get a nice assault rifle there. We get a cool submachine gun Uzi thing here. We get Sandstorm, very nice. And we get the figure stand. So starting off with the figure stand here, it's a traditional 25th anniversary and up modern battle stand here. The nice G.I. Joe logo on the front or top. 2 foot pegs, Dusty and Sandstorm on the front. Looks like we got a little paint overlap here on the corner here, but not too bad. Beyond that, we get the traditional 2007 copyright date, so pretty straightforward. Accessory wise, let's start off with Sandstorm here. So the first thing that I'm going to say is it looks like they've just repainted the Wolf Timber from Snake Eyes' releases, and with that said, it still looks pretty good. It's not quite as nice as I would have liked it to be for Sandstorm. Sandstorm's supposed to be a coyote, and it's a little big here size-wise for at least my expectation and my recollection of the original vintage release here. But, you know, putting that beside, it does look pretty nice. The paint job on the mouth is a bit off. They forgot to paint his teeth, so it's all just painted kind of that light pink color there. But, you know, putting that beside, it still looks really nice. They did a good job. I do like the variation, the different color browns going on here. So all in all, it works pretty well. Lots of detail work on the actual coyote. I was gonna say wolf, but coyote. So all in all, really good sculpt here. Works really well, and it definitely accomplishes what they were trying to do here with Sandstorm. So very nice there. Weapons wise, let's start out here with the assault rifle. This is kind of just a regular assault rifle. It's in this weird, it's kind of a metallic sheen to it here. Kind of this brown goldish color, which is a little weird, but it still works. Some nice detail work going on anyways. Looks pretty good. The Uzi submachine gun thing here is in the same kind of slightly metallic-ish brown gold combination color. Some nice detail work on it as well. Looks pretty cool, and it definitely will suffice for the weapons that we've got here. The original weapons that came with the vintage release were slightly different from my recollection. I want to say that the submachine gun that he had in that one had a fold-out stock on it, which this one doesn't have, but it works fine for what it is. It looks really good. The other accessories that we have are actually part of his web gear here. So let's just start here. We do have a nice machete here on the side. It's got some just regular silver paint on it, and then the handle itself is kind of painted that same goldish brown color. Whoop. And it does fit in the holster there really easily, very nicely, so it works really well there. So good for that. He also has a cool boot knife here. It is not painted silver on the actual blade itself. It's just the one color, brownish gold color there. Some nice detail work in the hilt here. Beyond that, just a standard boot knife here. We've seen it with lots of different figures. We also have a nice pistol here in its holster on his side. And we get the cool silencer included with this. So we'll just pop that up and out of its holster. This is the same pistol with silencer that we've seen in many of these figures in the past. It's a great design. Again, it's in that same kind of gold-brown color scheme. The silencer itself just slips onto the barrel of the gun. Get my little fingers here to flip back around. So there's just a tiny hole here in the point of the barrel here. So you just kind of flip that over top of there, and there you go. You've got a pistol with a silencer. Very nice little touch, and I do love the fact that you can fit both of them in the holster on the side. Works really well. It's a great design. I've always really liked this thing. The actual silencer itself can double as a flashlight. That's what I typically end up doing, is pretending like it's a flashlight. So it's still a nice little touch though. But it's meant to be a silencer, so very nice anyways. Moving on to the figure itself, we've got some really nice web gear going on here, and some really nice detail work on the actual costume itself. The color scheme we got going on is kind of more the traditional desert camo motif. It is only two-tone and not like the three-tone that we've seen for some of the other ones, but it still works really well. Dusty is a desert infantryman, so it works really well for him, and this darker brown just kind of makes that pop a little bit. He does have a lot of this silver highlight, which looks good on the figure, but in my mind, I think I would have preferred to have that muted a little bit and maybe have like a carbon steel gray color instead of the bright silver. Just thinking of it in terms of him being out in the sun and like that, this shiny metal is going to reflect and kind of give away his position a little bit in my head anyway. So, but overall, the figure itself looks really great here. Color scheme works really well. Very nice looking. His beret here is actually removable, so you can pop that thing off, and it's got some nice detail work on it. It's got I can't really tell what the actual symbol is there. It's just a little too small for me to pick up right now, but it still looks really nice. Fits on his head very easily. It doesn't slip off too badly. So that's nice. A couple of these figures we've seen in the past with like Flint, that's been, and Falcon, that's kind of been an issue, is that thing pops off and is easily lost. But this one fits on there really nicely and works really well. So pop that off for the time being. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees and has plenty of up and down motion. The head sculpt itself is pretty nice here. It does a really good job here. Works really well. It's got his red hair there, so that's pretty nice. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. And we've got the just standard twist feature at the wrist, so no extra articulation there, but it still works really well, looks really nice. Some nice detail work on his arms. I really do like the way that looks. He does have the waist twist or the chest twist feature, and plenty of ab crunch motion there. The web harness doesn't limit that whatsoever, so that's really nice. And I mentioned in the trademark figure review that the actual chest twist feature had some weird snappy, groovy things going on. This figure does not seem to have that whatsoever, so that's really nice there. We do have the standard T-hook at the hips and the waist. Very nice there. Double knee joints with these cool removable knee pads here. Those things kind of pop off pretty easily, but not too bad there. And we have the standard swivel and rocker here at the ankle joint. Some really nice detail work on those boots as well. You can see all the laces and everything on it. Overall, it just looks really nice. Some of the other details here, all these pouches are just extremely nicely detailed here on the web gear and on his side here, so very nice looking. Overall, this is a great looking figure. We'll go ahead and start gearing him up again. Take his machete and stick it into the sheath on his side. His boot knife, slide it back into his sheath on his boot. The pistol with the silencer goes into the holster on his side. The little actual silencer itself also slips right in there like so. Just pop that down in there like that. And we'll toss his beret back on there. And we'll go with the large assault rifle here on his right side. And the submachine gun Uzi pistol in his left hand. Or so I thought. That one's a little tricky there. That handle's a little bit larger than the opening on his actual hand itself. So you may have to kind of play around with that to get it to go in there. This one is definitely not the easiest one. So you may have to, if you run into an issue like that, you may actually have to take like the thumb itself and kind of bend it out a little bit. That seems to be what gets caught up in it, is the edge of that thumb. And then flip it around there and you should be good to go there. So very nice looking. Really cool. And then we've got Sandstorm by his side here. So yeah, all in all, this is a great looking figure. Again, as I said before, I've always loved this particular iteration of Dusty from the vintage line. And this figure itself doesn't disappoint me whatsoever. It's a really great update for that classic look here. They did a really good job. The only small nitpicks are the silver's a little too bright for me, and the paint job on the actual mouth of Sandstorm is a little off. Could use some white detail paint. But beyond that, a really great figure. This one is highly recommended. It was available exclusively in the G.I. Joe Club Store's figure subscription service. So you can't get these at retail anymore. You actually never could get these at retail. You just had to buy it direct from the club as that subscription. So if you're looking for it now, you'll probably have to go to the secondary market and try to pick it up. And I don't know what the price is going to run right now. I actually haven't looked at this last wave of figures to see what they're running. But traditionally these things end up edging up to about the $70 mark pretty early on. And they just kind of climb from there. So I have a feeling this figure will probably end up being one of the more sought after ones. Again, it's a great figure, so there you go. That's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Feel free to drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of Dusty and Sandstorm. If you'd like to see anything specific for future episodes, let us know that in the comments section below as well. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up and share with anybody you think might enjoy this video. Until next time, Yo Joe!